On the 1st of February 2004, the energy shifted at the NRG Stadium in Texas. Something that went south ended up creating what is now Janet Jackson Appreciation Day. In this video, we take a look at how the 2004 Super Bowl created Janet Jackson Appreciation Day. But here's the contradiction that frames everything. A moment meant to destroy her legacy ended up strengthening it. A moment meant to silence her ended up giving her a global day of celebration. And a moment meant to shame her ended up exposing the power of culture, community, and memory. This is the story of how the world tried to cancel Janet Jackson and how the world, especially Black culture, refused to let that happen. Especially her global fans, Jan Fam, who are of all races and ages and different cultural identities. Before we get into the fallout, the backlash, and the cultural shift, we need to understand the world Janet Jackson was standing in. Janet wasn't just a pop star. She is the blueprint, the queen of pop, especially for women. By 2004, she had already sold over 100 million records of physical copies of her music. This was before the streaming era. She also had broken multiple records, including MTV, Billboard, and touring records. Janet also helped shape choreography, fashion, and music videos and movies. Janet Jackson had become the standard for stage performance for women. Janet Jackson had built a legacy separate from and equal to her brother Michael Jackson. Janet Jackson was and will always be the queen of pop to many generations. But the Super Bowl halftime show wasn't just a performance. It was the most watched event in America. Thanks to her brother Michael Jackson setting the precedence in 1993. And 11 years later, Janet Jackson was the headliner. But something happened that would change the trajectory of her career. A wardrobe malfunction, a split second, a mistake. It was a moment that should have been handled privately. Instead, it became a cultural earthquake, and the aftershocks lasted years. Mainly because of how the guest, Justin Timberlake, who is at fault for the incident, and the racist and misogynistic people in the music and media industry took advantage of the moment. The rise. To understand why the backlash hit so hard, you need to understand how high Janet was standing, especially as a Black woman who has broken so many barriers. Janet Jackson wasn't riding a wave, she was the wave. Her albums weren't just successful. They were cultural resets. Control redefined independence. Rhythm Nation became a social movement. Janet turned sensuality into empowerment. The Velvet Rope explored vulnerability before it was mainstream. She wasn't following trends, she was creating them. And by 2004, Janet was preparing to release her new album, Damita Jo. The Super Bowl halftime show was supposed to be the perfect launchpad. Instead, it became the perfect storm. This is ironic because Damita Jo is her actual middle name. This perfect storm is mixed feelings. And if you are part of Jan Fam, you are caught in the middle. And here is why. When someone becomes the standard, the world stops treating them like a person. They become symbols, and symbols are easier to attack. Especially when the attacks come from mainstream media. And there is obviously something they are doing behind the scenes to boycott and ban, in this case Janet Jackson, over a mistake, yet Justin Timberlake gets treated like mainstream media works in his favor constantly. It is enough to make you want to scream. The challenge. The moment happened, a fraction of a second. A mistake, but the reaction that lasted years, Janet faced. Blacklisting, radio bans, MTV bans, award show bans, public shaming, political outrage, media obsession. Meanwhile, Justin Timberlake, who was part of the moment, walked away untouched. This is where the story becomes bigger than entertainment. This is where it becomes about gender, race, power, mainstream media narratives, and who society chooses to protect. And Justin Timberlake didn't help either, whether it was a personal choice or his PR team or manager who suggested there is no excuse. As it was Janet's brother Michael who insisted he goes solo. Plus, he was a guest appearance. Janet could have easily chosen someone else. Janet became the target of a moral panic. Politicians used her name to score points. Networks used her image to avoid fines. The media used her story to drive ratings. The world watched as one of the most successful women in music was punished for a mistake as if she were the only one on stage. When institutions feel threatened, they don't look for truth, they look for someone to blame. Especially in this case, Janet Jackson was the headliner, and she is known as a sex symbol. But that is no excuse. Everyone should be treated equally. They could have easily said, let's use CBS and MTV networks to investigate what happened to speak to everyone involved. Raw and unfiltered, so we can find a resolution to wardrobe malfunctions, which is a problem that happens to other artists and celebrities and even regular non-celebrities by accident. Instead of using the networks to paint a negative narrative about Janet Jackson. The turning point. Here's where the story flips. While the industry tried to erase her, the people refused. Fans noticed the double standard. Communities noticed the hypocrisy. Black women especially saw the pattern, the way society punishes them more harshly than anyone else. And slowly, something started to form, a conversation, a movement, a pushback. By the early 2010s, social media had grown powerful enough to rewrite narratives. And that's when it happened, a simple idea. Every Super Bowl Sunday, we celebrate Janet Jackson, not as a joke, not as a protest, but as a cultural correction, a cultural celebration, a way to reclaim the narrative, a way to honor her legacy, a way to say, we didn't forget you, we didn't abandon you, we didn't let them rewrite your story. And just like that, Janet Jackson Appreciation Day was born. The strategy. Here's the part most people don't realize. Janet Jackson Appreciation Day didn't come from a PR team. It didn't come from a label. It didn't come from the industry. It came from the people. Fans used social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, YouTube, blogs, forums to remind people of her legacy in real time. Every Super Bowl Sunday, the timeline would flood with her performances, her choreography, her interviews, her music videos, her impact, and her influence. It became a digital tradition, a cultural ritual. This is a yearly reminder that Janet Jackson is bigger than a moment that was negative. She is an icon who has contributed a lot and has such a positive, and she has such a calm vibe. And the strategy works because here's the truth. Culture is stronger than corporations, community is stronger than media. Especially mainstream media, and memories are stronger than any scandal. Especially when mainstream media paint fake narratives. The outcome. By the early 2020s, the narrative around the Super Bowl incident finally began to shift. Documentaries like Framing Britney Spears in 2021 reignited conversations about how women in pop culture were treated, and soon after, Malfunction, the dressing down of Janet Jackson in 2021 examined the incident directly. Journalists who once mocked or dismissed Janet publicly acknowledged their role in the backlash, and celebrities spoke out about the double standards she faced. In 2021, Justin Timberlake issued a written apology, admitting that both Janet and Britney had been treated unfairly, though many felt the statement was too late, too broad, and not personal enough. As Justin's own public image declined in the wake of the Britney documentary, with his new music struggling to gain traction, the imbalance became even clearer. But when Janet released her own documentary, Janet, in 2022, she showed the grace she had always carried. She said she and Justin were on good terms, choosing forgiveness even when many fans could not. For them, the apology felt incomplete. They believed both women deserved individual apology, not a combined statement decades later. It was only now, nearly 20 years after the incident, that the world finally began to understand what really happened and who paid the price. And so, with that said, Janet Jackson Appreciation Day wasn't just a hashtag anymore. It became a cultural event. Every year, without fail, Janet trends globally. Her videos spike in views, her music streams rise. Her legacy gets re-examined, her impact gets celebrated, and the most powerful part: Janet never asked for it, she never demanded it. She never orchestrated it. The world gave it to her because she deserves it. Throughout this story, there's a deeper lesson. When institutions fail you, community can save you. When the mainstream media tries to erase you, culture can restore you. And when the world tries to shame you, legacy can protect you. Janet Jackson Appreciation Day isn't just about Janet, it's about accountability, resilience, cultural memories, and the power of collective storytelling. It's a reminder that the internet isn't just a place for trends, it's a place for justice. There's a poetic justice about this story. A woman who gave the world joy was repaid with humiliation. A woman who shaped culture was punished by the industry she helped build. A woman who inspired millions was nearly erased by a moment she had no control over. But the people, the fans, refused to let that be the final chapter. They turned pain into celebration. They turned injustice into tradition. They turned a moment of shame into a day of honor. And that's why Janet Jackson Appreciation Day hits so deeply. It's not just about music, it's about memories. It's about justice. It's about love. The principle. So here's the takeaway: legacy isn't defined by what happens to you. It's defined by what people remember about you. Janet Jackson's legacy wasn't destroyed in 2004. It was strengthened. Because when the world tried to rewrite her story, the people wrote it back. And that's why every Super Bowl Sunday, we celebrate her, not because of what happened, but because of who she is: a pioneer, a visionary, a cultural architect, a survivor, a legend, an icon. This is why Janet Jackson Appreciation Day exists. This is why it will continue year after year as long as culture remembers the truth.